Hello, and welcome to Bitches with Beards. And on this week's episode, I asked a question. Why does everyone keep calling me a groupie? I'm a band-aid. No sex, just hand jobs.
And it's Wingardia Leviosa.
We're the podcast that attempts to break down culture with all the elegance of two coastal grandmas.
But in truth, we're just a couple of bitches with beards.
I'm Max.
And I'm Daniel.
And we're live from the Dying Keating podcast studio in Haberdashery.
And we both have opinions, so let's get this party started.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that was dull. Dull.
Oh. Daniel began with a rant about his weekend, which goes no further than the opening bit, but stressed. It is actually asking the common question of who plans what when going where.
I say that the host plans the trip.
Yes, no, we've had this one in the past with the hubs, and he has asked people where they would like to go for dinner, and I've had to remind him that people do not know the area. And I'm very much of the, hey, we have found this restaurant, it does this, would you like to go?
Yes, that's a good technique.
I don't like giving people options because people are horrific. They are the worst.
They are.
So I am very like quicker, like this is where we're going. But yes, no, you do give suggestions. What do you like doing? Or my actual one is, what do you not like doing? I find that one's far more effective because people usually like to complain more than they like to praise.
Yes, it's very true. And it can direct an individual towards, oh, maybe we will do this. And I'm like, yeah, there you go.
So, Daniel, I'm going to start with a quick rant because I'm real pissed off. And I usually would save this for the end, but I'm just so angry because I know none of you fuckers listen. So, anyway, the BBC app, BBC Sounds, is no longer available in the United States of America.
Oh, no.
So I can't listen to my beloved BBC Radio 2. I can listen live, which means the breakfast show, I will have to be up at 1 a.m. should I want to listen to it.
What's beauty sleep?
I know. There goes my damn running training because it was really good to run to because it went from conversation to very well chosen music. Actually, I do like there's a playlist. So, going to look at some VPNs and see if I can get access to it. But no, I'm rather pissed off by this one. I have to say.
I'm gonna ask this question. Isn't it on the Apple Podcast app?
So the app doesn't work. Like I went on today to listen, and it comes up. Use is not available, and there's been a lot of it's to do with like I'm wondering if the music and stuff. But there's been the actual like I actually read the announcement, and it was like there's no mention of hey, due to changing in region, laws and etc. We cannot. I'm like, oh great, that's fucking fantastic.
Well, I mean, let's just take all the joy from our lives. Let's just piss in everyone's Cheerios at this point.
I know. I nearly had a minor weepy to be honest, because I do love that. It keeps the homesickness at bay a little bit. So I'm just a little bit pissed off. Talking of homesickness, Daniel, how are you this week?
Well, I'm gonna say I am prepping for my trip to see my mother. I am flying down tomorrow morning.
What time's flight?
Flight is at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Not too bad, actually.
Not too bad, but I want to, because you and I'm going to be very honest and throw us under the bus. We're both nervous flyers and we like to get through security.
Oh, yeah, no, I do. And it is so, leave here about 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
Yeah, leave here about 5, get there, go get a coffee, go sit down, watch my gate, see that my gate is real type situation, and I'll be fine. But it's just like,
oh no, once I get there, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I have a book and stuff, and it's like fine.
But I just have to get through security. But anyways, getting ready for her. It has led to some not so great health situations this week with a couple of panic attacks and some really weird sleeping situations. Like I had an inception dream. Last night where it was like I had a dream within a dream and I was just like, oh my god, what is happening? Anyway, so I'm either on the verge of a mental breakdown or a mental breakthrough. I don't know. It's all in how you frame it, possibly.
I usually find that these bits are very frustrating, and actually like once you get there things kind of they vibe out a bit more. I
am hopeful, but you and I have had a conversation about some of the prelim conversations, so I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch. We'll put it that way. It could really go either way at this point.
What's the plan for Saturday morning?
I don't know.
So there's something. So you're coming back Monday, aren't you?
So I am flying back at 11 o'clock on Monday.
Yeah, so you're pretty tight on the time down there.
Yeah, it's very much, I will have the majority of the day Friday, and then I'll be there Saturday, Sunday, and then fly back mid-morning Monday. And then I'm taking Tuesday off because I'm like, I need to go get a massage after this.
Yeah,
I need a mental health day. So we'll see. We will see. We will see what sort of state I am, listeners.
But you got everything wrapped up with work as best as possible and stuff.
It's as good as it's going to get at this point. There is stuff that I have passed off, or it's going to get handled on Wednesday. And that's just the reality of the situation. And if it's too late, I didn't get stuff until I was literally walking out the door. And I said, you missed the deadline that I gave you. So.
What sort of we won't go into your agency too much, but what is the sort of expectation for turnaround on stuff? So, like, for instance, is there an expectation within the week, or if someone gets something to you by the end of 1 week, that they really shouldn't be counting on it, for a couple of weeks or something?
So it depends on what process we're working through. So if it is one of my big hats, legally I'm allowed 30 days to get something back to someone. Generally, for like project review, document review, it can vary between 2 weeks and 30 days. However, this was official correspondence that's going out.
Yeah.
And so the expectation is, if I got it on Monday, it should really be out the door or routed for an official signature by Friday so that it can go out that following Monday. So it should be a week turnaround. And it was very much a situation to where someone was supposed to turn in something last week. I then got it today, and I'm like, you're a week late.
Yeah.
I'm like, so that deadline that you set for this to go out is not that deadline anymore. Like, it has shifted by a week. Yeah,
we used to have this. This was something that we had to incorporate into our language when we worked, was that if you want to move back by a week, we would say, okay, so is the deadline for the delivery being moved back? And they would be like, no. Then we'd be like, well, then...
Yeah,
we now have a week less to do it. How are your expectations for this project going to change?
Because, I mean, there are certain things, like, if I need an official signature, there's a process that it has to go through. And it's a very set process where it goes to one person, then to one person, then to one person. And to go through those channels, it takes 5 days. It's just the reality of the situation. And if you miss that deadline, I'm so sorry. You have missed this deadline. And, for example, this one letter, if it doesn't go out next week, it has a cascading effect for a project that has to be debuted October 3rd. So now it's looking like it could be delayed until November. And I'm like, but you missed the deadline. Like, this is the ramification that you as a contractor are going to have to deal with. And you are going to get fined for this. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this is just what happens. We don't set these deadlines lightly. Like, yeah. So anyways, it's been a great week. It's been so wonderful. It
seems that way.
Like, I have been stressed to the max. I'm grateful that I only had 3 panic attacks this week and not 4.
Nice. That's just the way we should be aiming for.
I know. Just 3 and
just 3 panic attacks.
And they were mild ones, fortunately, but they were 3 nonetheless.
Delicious.
I know. Who doesn't love the heart racing just a little bit, being like, what am I doing sitting here?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's Max, it's just, you really should experience it for yourself. You should. First thing on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I haven't had the Sunday scaries for a while. I get the Friday scaries because it's like another week sort of gone, and you're like, there you go.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, how was your week?
It was pretty good actually. I had an interview, so that's all we'll say about that. But I did a lot of prep on that one, and thanks to everyone, including you. I did put some questions out to people, so I'm feeling optimistic about this one. But there's reasons for that. But yeah, it will be an interesting opportunity should it arise. Me doing some freelancing as well, and that's just seeing that from a different, the same work, different angle has been interesting, and it's the sort of project it's like the first pancake out on the griddle sort of thing, and
it's a little bit burnt.
Yeah, and it's a really good sort of project, but unfortunately someone else had kind of done the budget for it, and I would not have budgeted the way it has been. I think they underestimated what was going to be needed. So it's a brochure, but there's some infographics, and they've kind of killed me today, and they've knocked it a little bit, which is a bit frustrating. It's part of the job, unfortunately, but going from salary to hourly is and you're starting to get into the today wasn't a payday then, sort of situation.
Yeah.
So we had lovely Mark with us over last weekend. So we, got up to various bits and pieces. Even got down to Annapolis for a visit. Though I thought it got very expensive there, obviously, but I jumped up again in the prices there.
I always feel like Annapolis is a little bit more than it should be.
Yeah, I mean, it's I like it. I like the energy, and it's very Cornish, and you get that real history vibe there for obvious reasons, but no, it's there. You pretty much go, have a wander, grab some lunch, and that's sort of it, and that's all you need. But it is like there's not really.
Yeah, people are like, we were going to Annapolis for like a 3-day, weekend vacation, and I'm like, why?
There's nothing unless you're going to be on the boat or you've got a boat moored there. Yeah. So no, that was really nice. And then. Yeah, no, I mean, I felt like I started the week actually having a weekend away from staring at screens was pretty nice. So felt a little bit more refreshed. And then we're recording Thursday this week because you're off tomorrow, and we're doing it as early as possible because the Hubs has a gig tonight. He's singing with the Alley Rats, which is an interesting name for a band. But he's been practicing for the last couple of weeks. It's a relatively new thing. He was someone I remembered he sang and asked if he wanted to join. So I'm excited to see him. Very proud of him. He's been putting a lot of work in, not just like in his singing, but making sure that he's keeping his voice healthy. I think he's going to be. I think he's definitely going to be having some ice cream afterwards tonight. He's been dairy free for a couple of days now to do that, and I can tell he's like, I need something in my coffee. But no, aside from that, so everything's slowly moving into a better place right now, and not in that everything's dying sort of way, but so optimistic on a few things and just staying positive. I'm very positive about what you've got for us to drink. So shall we take a wander around Ina's garden?
We should take a wander around Ina's garden. So we've actually had this before on the podcast, I believe.
Yes.
We're having a Stiegel Radler. It's the Zitrone. It's the lemon flavored one. Cheers. It's nice and light and refreshing, listeners. It's 0 alcohol, which means I can fly early in the morning, and Max isn't going to be up all night, and we're just going to be happy at the end of this. I
really like this one. You bought it a couple of times over, and you had it on Independence Day.
Yes, I did.
It's odd in that I would not call it a beer whatsoever,
no.
But it is, and it's got a sweetness to it. It's funny. There was, when I worked in restaurants, you had to pick. I don't know if anyone's got restaurant serving experience or industry experience. Is that usually staff would get together, and they would describe the products of the week, and it was usually a bit douchey, to be honest. Tuna's so refreshing. And I remember one girl who was in charge of general bigger events. She had slept her way to the top. That was very much known. But she had a way of going, oh, it's delicious. It's delicious. I never trusted her. She was very sweet, but I never trusted her because she could nurse a glass of water with a lemon in it for the whole evening.
And she'd be like, it's delicious.
Delicious. It's so delicious. But this actually is delicious. This is like, it's something about it. It's almost as if the beer, the malt cuts the lemonade, but you're left with a very robust yet not sickly lemonade. And that's what I like about it. It's a very lovely summer. I've had this. I would prefer this to I prefer this in a wine glass over a non-alcoholic wine.
Yeah, this reminds me of an Arnold Palmer if it was like sparkling. Like it's got just a little bit of a bubble to it, not a lot of bubble, but it's got just enough that or it's like a half and half. And I'm like, I like this.
But no, I've grown to quite like this one. And also, we have a lot of non-alcoholic beers still, and I just am not feeling a need.
I cannot look at the Athletic the Athletic beers in Whole Foods without just being like, no. Like I want to, but I'm like, no.
Yeah, I haven't done the Guinness for a while. I really have lost the taste for it. Yeah, I actually quite like a sparkling. I don't know whether or not that is sparkling water. Sorry, I should finish my sentences. Yeah. I don't know whether or not that is also because it's been so hot. And it's just that's actually kind of generally refreshment is what I'm craving.
Well, I think it's been so hot, and I also think it's been so long since you've had alcohol that, you're coming back around. Or, I mean, you're coming to where you just need something sparkling as opposed to you needing a non-alcoholic beer.
I think what I'm craving is a really good glass of white wine filled at least 2/3. Because I feel anything under half is not going to feel. I'm going to want another, but I want a nice, healthy pour of a good flavored white wine.
The thing that I'm craving, a good Pimm's Cup. That's what I want.
Yeah, I think you could do because we've tried it with the balsamic.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe this is starting to get towards Pimm's territory, but not quite. Like it would need a lot more work to get to Pimm's.
Yeah, let's maybe look at something if there's something to do. It's
starting to scratch a little bit.
Yeah,
the itch.
So with that, Daniel, shall we see what's in the news?
Yes, this is the portion of the podcast where you talk about things that are gay adjacent, and just a little bit camp.
What's a little bit funny is that Hulk Hogan died.
Literally this afternoon.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get any fucking attention. You turn trash. I know you were a thing of the 80s and you were campus tits back then, but you turn real fucking trashy.
Yeah.
So, good riddance to bad luck, or whatever they say it is. No, well, first up, then, I think we're going to talk deaths. Is sadly that Ozzy Osbourne died at 76.
Yes.
Only 2 weeks ago, he did his final farewell concert.
Yeah.
But he, unfortunately, he was living with Parkinson's disease. It was said that when he did his concert, he came off his pain meds because he wanted to be lucid before the whole thing. Apparently the gig was amazing and is now considered one of the highest. It is like the biggest, most successful charity concert of all time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when he died, it was a bit of a shock, but I kind of the fact the gig was only 2 weeks ago, I think is
I feel like he knew it was coming, and
the fact he got to 76 with even
right with that lifestyle 76,
he really did. So I think what is nice is that the final gig being a charity one, and he was always, I know that there was some violence between him and Sharon. She's the first to admit it, and Sharon is also, is on camera for being violent as well.
Say, Sharon's a pistol.
I can't remember they were together, not together by the end of it. I know they were very much still. They kind of separated, didn't separate. I think they were always each other's soulmates.
Yeah.
But I think he's someone that went out on a real good mark, and I think the fact that that's his legacy was this concert is saying a lot. And I contemplated whether or not he should be culture for this week. I don't know how much really we could talk about him. I love his music. We just saw the ballet that was all Black Sabbath music, and Crazy Train has been trending a lot, and kids playing it at school was...
Yeah, I was about to say KUTX, the radio station in Austin that I listened to at work, did an entire 30-minute segment that was just Ozzy Osbourne music or Black Sabbath, and it was nice. It was very nice.
I preferred Black Sabbath, Ozzy, but then Ozzy went solo in the 80s, so some of his stuff is a little bit camper, and it gets a bit like Bark at the Moon and stuff. But
yeah.
I mean, Crazy Train's a great song. That's what they use for the Osbourne's theme.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'd always known of Ozzy Osbourne. He is someone, I don't know about you, but he was part of the culture, whether or not I listened to... And Black Sabbath was very different in style. Ozzy was this huge, larger-than-life character, and Black Sabbath actually...
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Osbournes came out, and that did change television. I mean, there wouldn't be a Kardashians without the Osbournes.
It's very true. I feel like my first introduction to Ozzy Osbourne was that television show. And then through that, you learned about the music and so on and so forth. And I think that just might have been a generational thing.
Yeah, I mean, my parents like that sort of music. The Black Sabbath wasn't the top of list because that was more metal, and my dad liked it. My mum kind of preferred more folk rock, so she was more of a Led Zeppelin and stuff. But I know that it's stuff that Mum and they would play if an album came out at a best of. They would listen to it. But the Osbournes was huge. It was. So I was at sixth form, so it was coming out when I was like 16 years old, and I just remember it was what everyone was talking about.
Everyone was
show.
doing this quote, that quote. Yeah,
Jared. Yeah, no, I remember it just was a Minnie, a little dog. But I remember, no, it was, and I loved it. I have very fond memories of that time, and it sits there in those memories. So I was definitely quite sad. Sad.
Yeah.
It's every so often it's weird who hits you with stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, you're just like, oh.
But he's a very unique character. There won't be. There's not going to be a lot like him because I don't think people who stand drugs and alcohol like him.
I was about to say, I don't know anyone that has the tolerance that he did. So
well, there's still a few. I still think the Rolling Stones are just about preserved in there. Jesus Christ!
They've sort of like fermented from the inside out.
How they're all still going, I don't know. But anyway, obviously you'll be sorely missed. There's going to be none other like you, and hey. Burn in hell, meant in the nicest way possible. Another bit of sad news, another death this week. And this is more DC based, but beloved Angelina passed away. Yes. For anyone listening in DC, we have we call it Gay Pizza. It was next to our dance floor, our big dance club town, which is now a CVS.
Yay, gentrification!
Tear down Paradise and put up a budget pharmaceutical place. So no, next to it was the beloved Angelina. She was a big fan of the Hubs when his campaigns. She liked me because she judged a drag contest I did once, and I gave birth on stage in front of her. She was treated like an absolute queen by the gays. Unfortunately, she got hit badly in regards to business after town closed. We would literally call it. It was literally door to door. You'd go from one to the other. Invariably, if you went to Uproar, you would go from town, grab a slice of pizza, and then walk down to Uproar. I've seen it open-ish on U Street in the past, but I think Andy's really took a lot of business from it.
I'm going to disagree. It was fairly hopping the last time I walked.
Was it because I must have seen it?
Oh yeah.
I think Andy's didn't do it any favours, but that's really good to hear.
Yeah.
But no, Angela, you are a true legend of gay DC, an icon. She was called Mama for a reason.
Yes, rest in power, Mama.
So, before we move on to the annoying bit of news, Ted Lasso season 4 has got its first look. Picture of them all in a diner, obviously visiting Ted. They've announced that Brett Goldstein and Juno Tempo are returning, with the Hannah Wadding and Jeremy Swift as the lovely Leslie, who's the accountant character. You haven't seen Ted Lasso much. No. He kind of appears as the accountant in the first season and just becomes a perfect character into himself with his many sons. And the actor's real life wife plays his wife in it.
Oh, very nice.
The Christmas special is highly worth it because they basically host Christmas for the international players, and they usually get one person. They get a lot of people. But no, I'm excited it's back. Unfortunately, the lovely guy who plays Jamie Tarr, I can't remember his name, he's going to be recurring this time. He's going to focus on the women's team. The official logline for season 4 states, Ted returns to Richmond, taking on his biggest challenge yet, coaching a second division women's football team. Throughout the course of the season, Ted and the team learn to leap before they look, take chances they never thought they would. So very excited for that. Also, I'm very excited that the lovely Faye Marzi's going to be in it. Out of all, I pick her out. She was in Pride, and she also just came off Andor as Mon Mothma's cousin. She was the main character in that. I love her. I don't. She's just. She's got that sort of slightly gravelly voice. Anything she's in, I've always adored. So I'm very excited she's going to be in it. Talking of TV shows not moving forward, this week it was announced that Stephen Colbert's Late Show has been cancelled.
Unfortunately.
This is after Paramount settled with the Trump administration regarding some claims. It was an unfounded lawsuit, and obviously they had no reason to settle. But a part of it now is the Late Show has been cancelled. Obviously, people have rallied forward. Apparently, him, Colbert, and what's her face off NBC, SES, NBC, AMC, Rachel Maddow are going to do a show together.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But everyone has basically come forward and just basically shout on Paramount for this, including South Park, who after signing a $1 billion contract for streaming rights, then did. I've not seen the episode. I've only seen clips. I have not watched South Park for years, but I always giggle at parts of it. A complete episode that completely destroys Trump. So what's going to happen with that now? I don't know, but hey, we shall see.
Who is to say?
It's very scary what's going on with this, and people are saying, see, they're going to go for SNL next, and how is he going to go at people? It's going to be, The rumor is that the what I saw saying, the Writers Guild of California, the California sector are looking at doing like they think the something's up and they want it investigated. So we shall see.
Interesting.
On that, Daniel, what's your news this week?
News for me this week. So last summer was Brat Summer, and this summer could be Brat Bridal. Who's to say? But 32-year-old 360 singer Charlie XCX tied the knot to George Daniel, age 35. The couple have been engaged since 2023. The bride wore a Vivienne Westwood. Loved, actually. They were posting behind-the-scenes pics and videos of the ceremony on TikTok. The two were married at Hackney Town Hall.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Do you know where Hackney
Hackney's East.
Okay.
But we have really nice town halls. They're kind of older.
I was going to say, you have very nice town halls.
Not quite San Francisco.
I would still take a London town hall. Don't get me wrong.
San Francisco, if you haven't seen it, is a gorgeous town hall.
It's fantastic. The staircase. So wonderful. All right. And like the white-winged dove, Buckingham and Nix are set to reunite. So, Lindsay Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, my white witch, are reuniting to re-release their album Buckingham and Nix. The two advertise this by cutting lyrics from their line for their song Frozen Love, posting them on billboards seen in LA and on Instagram, where they were seen finishing each other's lyrics. This comes after the departure of Buckingham from Fleetwood Mac some 8 years ago. So, TBD if this is something a little bit more permanent of possibly coming back.
Nice.
Yes. Also in news, next year it's announced that the largest exhibit of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's fashion is set to open in 2026 at the King's Gallery in Buckingham Palace. It'll be a retrospective entitled Queen Elizabeth II, A Life in Style. Some of the highlights will include her 1934 bridesmaid's dress, her 1970 evening gowns, simple hunting jackets, her wedding dress, and her coronation gown. And it is focusing on the use of clothing as a tool of diplomacy.
Perfect.
Which I love, because I look at landscapes as diplomacy, so we'll see. And finally, I got a little bit tickled on this one. So Hermione Granger will be riding the night bus back to Hogwarts, where it was announced that Harry Potter actress Emma Watson has had her license suspended after she went 38 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour speed zone. She has a 6-month ban, and this comes after getting 12 points and multiple offensive in a short time period. So
about to say, that's like to get banned for speeding like that is not.
Yes, apparently it happened in Oxford, where she's working on a master's degree in creative writing. Good for her for doing that, but I'm like, honey, if you got 12 points, I think within a 2-month period, I'm like, maybe the problem is you.
Yeah.
The problem is you and your lead foot.
I've always kind of wondered about these celebrities that do so much, and you're kind of like, okay, at some point you've got to kind of,
I'm like, honey, could you just not have someone drive you? Could I
would
have?
I guess she is now.
Well, yeah.
Because they made quite a lot of money from Harry Potter, didn't they?
And I think they're still getting. Clearly, they're still getting royalties off of it.
Yeah, I mean, I say that in a manner of the, considering they were young actors at the time with very little leverage, and they were artists not involved in not creatives involved in that. They managed to get quite lucrative deals for it.
Yeah.
With that, Daniel, should we take a quick break?
Yes, we should.
Speeding away.
Oh, there she goes.
And we're back.
Oh, yes.
For break so fast and efficient, I say 12 points to Gryffindor.
I say 10 points for Slytherin.
So, Daniel, what's been culture for you this week?
Culture for me this week. So, food of the week, I have been making tons of hibachi stir-fry bowls.
What's a hibachi stir-fry bowl?
So, for me, a hibachi stir-fry bowl is typically zucchini that has been marinated in soy sauce and some other spices. You have the mixture of mushrooms that goes in there as well. And then my trick is I actually use broccoli slaw to put in there, so it's nice and thin and crunchy and julienne. And then you serve it on top of rice, and then you also have tofu triangles that you just put in it too.
Delicious.
Wonderful. But I was going to say, I made it this week, and I tried a new product for the first time. I tried tempeh. I don't know how I feel about tempeh.
So which one's tempeh?
I believe tempeh, I don't want to get this wrong, but I think it's seed-based.
Yeah.
The texture is interesting. The flavor, they're billing it as a alternative to bacon. Flavor-wise, maybe. I want to like it a little bit more than but nah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, the tofu is superior. I'm just a tofu guy. Sorry.
Just tofu guy. My drink of the week has been a lot of lemon balm tea for stress reduction. It hasn't helped, but in theory, it's been great. Songs of the week, Conceited by Lolo Young. Nice.
Brand new artist that we've spoken about on this podcast before. It's her new single that's coming out of her debut album. Flower Moon by Duran Jones. And then a throwback, Stupid Girl by Garbage.
Stupid Girl.
Yes. Mm-hmm. My self-care of the week has been a lot of meditation. Following a lot of apps, a lot of deep breathing exercises has been done. And then surprisingly, television of the week, so in between panic attacks on Sunday, I went down a rabbit hole with a series on BritBox, Rick Stein's Cornwall. I'm going to tell you this right now. I know you want to go to Cornwall with me. I want you to take me, is what I'm saying.
Does he go to Padstow?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Padstow's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's over 3 series, and there's like...
Is it an older one?
No, it's like 20, 21, 22, 23.
Yeah, he actually funds Padstow.
Yes. So, and there's 10 episodes per series, 10 to 15. Like, yeah. It's a substantial series, and just the scenery that he was showing, I'm sitting here, which I knew it was gorgeous, but
it's just very dramatic.
But I'm just like, oh my gosh, like Padstow, and of course Tintagel, but there's also River Tabar, and I'm just like, I want to go here. Yeah. Like, I could spend a week just frolicking about. Like, it's so beautiful and breathtaking. Like,
yeah, we were there we spent 2-week vacations there.
Yeah.
I could easily... I'm kind of vibing a lot towards wanting to do a working vacation somewhere, because I've not even done much reading this week or writing recently, and like Cornwall will be a place I would love to go, and do there for 2 weeks with a week's worth of travel, but maybe just having a day and going somewhere. No, but definitely if you and if you wanted to pick I know you're not one of these foodies who's like, I found this restaurant, I'm booking, it's that.
Right.
But I think we would definitely, if we do Padstow, would splash out and book it way in advance and get a good table at one of his...
The seafood company, yeah. Yes. Trust me, I have seen the restaurants on that one, and you're right, I'm not so much of a foodie that I'm like, we have to go to this place, but it was just like, he was doing a service for like Cornwall.
He loves it down there, though.
He absolutely loves it, and it was nice because he was interviewing people who also love it. So like Dawn French was on there,
yes,
for an episode.
She lives down there now.
Yeah, she lives down there now, and so but it was everyone using products that were made in Cornwall, grown in Cornwall, harvested in Cornwall, and it was just, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be in Cornwall now.
and I also want to move on is that, although partially this is sort of some level of culture at the moment, is I always say that one of the things that even though the internet did sort of move people away from physical shops to an extent, and let's face it, and it is very. I do miss a lot of the physical shop, and Croydon, where I'm from, Croydon has been suffering from that, but it also. Online delivery gave access to a lot of these products, and then also topped with, I think, with COVID and the focus on local, is that especially these products, which like homemade stuff, and places like Cornwall did flourish because they were able to get out their products to the world to an extent, and a lot of them aren't because of the preservatives that are needed and they don't put in there. But no, it did open the world up to certain things, and it's increased an awareness of the locals, which I think is fantastic.
No, I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. So anyways, that was enough of my culture this week. What was culture for you this week?
Oh, well, food was, I finished the day we had tofu curry last night because the Hubs can't have any dairy. He's avoiding dairy because of his singing. But also apparently couldn't do coconut milk. I'm not quite sure why. I also want to know kind of what coconut milk actually is, because I know that's because is it like there must be a lot of sugar and crap in there and stuff, and
probably. I mean, we could crack open a can and say.
We went to our friend Rob McCarthy's on Monday. Did a lovely dinner, just some chicken and some lovely potatoes. So I want to shout out that, and then yes, definitely after a weekend with a guest that we need to eat earlier because he got hangry, and he's a very sweet guy, and he was like, I need to eat food now. So that's gonna be that one. And tonight we're going to be getting I don't know if the Hubs is going to want to get food after his gig, but I'm going to do a slow cooked beef just because it's there and we can chomp on it over the weekend if we need. Sports, went to see the rugby on Saturday. That was great. The women's US women's played Fiji, and then we had US versus the United Kingdom, like England, should say United Kingdom. Really, really great games. Saw the lovely Ilona there. She was waving down at us, waving up at us. The only thing was the storms came and we had to. It was rained off. It took about an hour and a half delays by the end of it because there was lightning within 5 miles, so we had to wait for that. And then we thrashed the US, and then unfortunately got a try in the very last minute, and then everyone was acting like they'd fucking won. So it's like, you guys are turkey. But this weekend we will be watching the women's soccer. England's got through to the final. Apparently the equalising goal against Italy was in the 96th minute of a 90-minute game, and then they got another put on in extra time. So I missed it. I was very gutted. I was prepping for my interview, but apparently it really was quite intense. So books, I am nothing, and I'm shaming myself a bit. But this week I've plenty going on, and that
I am still stuck on book number 8 that I started in May.
So I have been doing little bits of writing, but not a substantial sit down and actually edit. Which Max, come on now. Television. We showed Mark EastEnders. I was cooking. I said, "I'm gonna put EastEnders on." He's like, "What the fuck is this?" And then movies. The Hubs had to go out for rehearsal, so I got him to watch Weekend because he goes, "What do you want to watch?" And I said, "Well, what would you?" He goes, "Do you have a film?" I said, "Well, the only one I can think of is Weekend." Andrew Hayes classic, which I fucking love. The Hubs took a piss out of it because he's like, it's so slow, but it's It's very interesting in that it definitely has to be in my top 3 movies. And to the extent I do prefer it over All the Strangers. And it's not that I don't, but I think it hits, even though All the Strangers is actually set in my hometown and that I have that personal connection to it, I could break down Weekends at such a... There's something about it really... I remember seeing it and I still complete and utterly... It was a film that felt like it was made for me at the time. And I know everyone says that, but it hit in so many ways. But even now, like watching it, how it goes, and I'm so lucky to have my husband. in things with it. But and I think I'm it being a tough year, and I have height and I think homesickness. Is that you can watch that film, and maybe there's a couple of bits. I think where the lighting is not quite right. I think mainly when he is I want to say it's Russell is on his bike. And there's one bit, and it's the sun is a little bit too low, but the way Andrew Hay films it is, I don't know what it is, but the scene at the end when he's looking over and he gets the gift, is that light is perfect for that time, because that is the light that really tells you, and it sounds stupid to say and obvious, that the weekend is over.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And it's just at dusk, and he's there at dusk on a Sunday, and his weekend is done. And I just think that it's so evocative. I don't know. I genuinely and I remember like that feeling of the end of the weekend when you haven't achieved what you wanted to. Maybe you're looking for love, maybe but I generally can rave about this film so much.
And you're allowed to, and we love to.
And then it was running because Mark said, "What is it about this film?" I said, I remember at the time when it came out, the trailer was really good, the music was good, but it was it looked good. Like the poster for it is cool. It's them two leaning out the window, and I remember at the time, it was. I know there's films like Latter Days and Shelter had come out a few years before that. I mean, they're probably about 10 years before, but they were campy. They were campy, and they weren't. And then some of them were, like, I really love Mambo Italiano. I think that's such a good film.
That one's a good one, yes.
But Weekend was, like, the first time I really... And even though I'm sure films have come out before that, was that it just looked so comfortable in itself as opposed to... It wasn't trying anything. They'd really got this beautiful shot, this photograph of them two leaning out. And I just remember it completely... It was a cultural moment, that movie, for me. So yeah, so that so moving on quickly with that, so we'll go back to Weekend. Trust me on this one. But I went to see Eddington at the cinema. It's a COVID set western. It's very interesting. It's the lovely Pedro and Joaquin Phoenix. It's a good film. It's almost 2.5 hours.
Let me guess, no intermission.
Yeah, personally feel it did drag towards the end, and even though it really. It landed where it needed to. I would say there's probably about 15 they could at least probably trim. Okay. Just a little bit. Just because I think there was a little bit of where is this going now. But it generally is excellent. It's kind of a little bit tense. It's funny but tense. So being tonally it can maybe do a little bit of a tweak, but we shall see. So then going back quickly to music. Which you get an Andrew Hay theme. So had the Antlers, which is the music used in the trailer for Weekend. St. Lucia, which is the music used in the trailer for Looking. But again, they are fantastic bands. St. Lucia really are, if you really want an interesting band for that. Antlers I love, and then of course John Grant. But anyway, that was that. So Daniel, do we have a culture for the week?
Well, I mean, we did bounce an idea, and by bounce I do mean during the bathroom break. We were bouncing an idea of what is gay culture.
It's been so... I mean, we've had between the bad weather, it's just been quiet in DC. I think that we are still sort of hungover from the Coldplay scandal more than anything.
Well, I think we are. I think we truly are hungover from that, and some of the other cultures not really something we want to discuss,
No, I mean, so we have the media culture at the moment, which is scary.
It's nasty is what it is.
And, we are well and truly summer is going. I would say I'm optimistic for a couple of irons in the fire at the moment, and I think should that not occur, we'll work stuff out. My parents are probably, I think they're coming in September, which will be nice. I think that at the moment we are in summer. It hasn't quite been the summer. we've done a lot, but I think summer culture. I don't know about you. I feel that last few years I've been bombarded with what everyone's up to over summer, and I just feel this year I've not seen that as much on my feeds.
Yeah, I do feel like it's a lot quieter this year on the feeds for, we're doing this, we're doing that.
Yeah.
I feel like people are maybe recalling, maybe not recalling is a word, but retrenching away from the socials just a little bit on that. But I will postulate this to you, because my boss and I, we had a meeting today, or not today, we had a meeting this week, where he's pushing's the wrong word, he's being a proponent of doing something called 3-3-3.
Yeah.
Which is you take 3 hours, one day, every 3 months, and evaluate and determine 3 things that you want to achieve over the next 3 months.
No, that sounds like a good thing.
Yeah, so I think Tuesday when I'm off and recuperating, I think I'm going to do that and think about what I want to achieve over the next 3 months personally, to maybe put a nice little bow on the summer, I think.
Yeah, it's not a secret that Daniel and I love the fall.
Oh, yes.
And
we're counting down until the leaves change.
I had a very weird relationship with time in that when our dog got older, I started to fear. I feared her going more than getting older. Mm-hmm. And then 11 months ago, it's not quite a year yet, we lost her. Yeah. And it reevaluated, because we don't have that perspective with Buck. He's an older dog. Mm-hmm. He's also promised me he's not going anywhere.
Yes, that's right.
So again, I am not prepared when that happens.
No.
Which we won't maul on, but yeah.
I'll just go ahead and plan on taking the day off of work.
Yeah, but for me, it has been a weird year. This year has shot by, and it's hard to. It's been hard, and and it's something that it's going to I'm going to have perspective over it eventually. I really wish that I could have been in a situation where I, spent my mornings applying for work and my afternoons working on personal projects. And, one of my biggest things is that I really wish that I'd got my book in a better place. And it is still going to get there. I'm still adding to it. I did a line today that was horrendous but funny, and I like, and it's an idea and a concept, and I do need to sit down and do it, and maybe things will change. And I feel that, and it has been hard. And you apply for work, and I got a rejection from the job today that I know I put a bit more work into the application, but for me, like that, me and the Hubs were chatting about things. I forgot what day, and he said, you have changed a lot this year. I can see your focus has changed, and I think it has shifted something in you. And so for me, I definitely feel that even though on a quantifiable level, I'm coming out of this year and thinking, what have I spent this whole year doing? So many fucking job applications, but they've changed. I actually found a cover letter for a job that I applied for in 2017. Strangely enough, it's sometimes when you go onto websites to apply for work, you find your old applications on there. And the cover letter was crazily short. It was like, oh my God. That was back in the day where you could just do like that.
Right.
And so, and it was interesting to see. And I do think moving forward, as I said, is that, one of the things we've spoken about is, even if I get a position that is, like salaried, I'm still going to be looking for freelance to expand my, my portfolio, because I can't sit around waiting for a company to give me the lifestyle I want. It's not going to happen.
You're going to have to make it.
And whether or not this 40th year is going to be turning around, but if the iron's in the fire, we'll know hopefully by the end of next week whether or not they've paid off. Is that, interestingly, I think that come sort of September, and it's hard. We'll go into spooky season more in October, and I'm not trying to wish it away. Is as long as everything's paid off, I'm gonna just take that time to just enjoy. Yeah, because I feel that that's going to be my my treat, and prepared to get fat from baking, and that sort of thing.
Fat and sassy.
Sassy. But I think that's where it is, and I do think that this year has shaken a lot of people up, and there's been a lot of stress. And I know that you have not been in my situation, but you've had to spend a lot of brain power stressing and solving problems, strategizing, and that's time that Ladybird never got some attention.
But I'm going to say this: Ladybird has actually gotten a lot of attention. I think that something came out from the administration work directive, and I realized the writing on the wall, and I thought, oh my God, if I don't do something now, no one's going to know about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Which is why I've been like, oh yeah, I had a documentation day, blah, 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 blah. It's because I could see it all being lost. If
and that's great in a sad way.
It's great, but it's also sad that it took this to happen to be my motivation to get out and, start documenting this stuff. I should have been doing that years prior. So, I feel like for me this year has been really good in that sense. Personally, though, it's like I am very much single. So, it's like I've chosen one thing over the other. So I feel like we're all making choices.
Yeah, I can't talk. I don't know what headspace I would be in had I been single throughout this. It's hard to tell.
Oh, yeah.
But I know. I think that the thing I'm grateful for on most of the hubs is that actually, I was able to. He got me out of the house a bit. We've come through this. There's been a lot of compromise. I feel incredibly guilty for what I put him through with the unemployment, and the summer has not been. I said this last couple of weeks have been a bit manic anyway, because I've had this freelance job on top of a job, like an interview. There's been a lot going on, so it's been some late evenings, and I've not gone out onto the roof deck and kind of done my reading that I wanted to do. And I think this weekend definitely is. I definitely want, like, at least one day on my writing or one day on the family project that we're working on as well.
Then
I'm
do it.
Trying to, yeah, and it is, but knowing that you're going to put that time aside and get up and do it. But it is tough, it is tough to kind of work out. And I said I think I've learned a lot. I think as well. Tomorrow I bought a ticket to go and see Fantastic Four at 3:30. And I'm going to buy my Reese's Pieces, and I'm going to sit and take it, and that's going to be lovely. And I'm actually genuinely looking forward to that, because that's my treat, and I'm candy for Mandy. Yes. So I'm looking, but it is going to. I do wonder whether or not culture, moving forward as people are emerging from stuff, is culture's reassessment at the moment. And I think an understanding that nothing's a given. I think that's the one thing I will take from this year, is that nothing isn't and nothing ever was.
Right.
And
I don't think we were complacent. I
think to an extent that we were sold a lie. And I think that there is...
I'll believe that.
Yeah. And I don't... Or whether or not we even sold it. We just accepted it.
Yeah.
But, with that, Daniel, I think move on, because I know I've got to get some dinner in the oven before the hubs gets back. Do you have a Gad and Goop?
Dear, that's your role. Gad and Goop.
So, Roger Waters of Pink Floyd fame is facing possible prison sentence after supporting support for Palestine Action, a group deemed a terrorist organisation in the UK. So, by pledging public support for that, he's put himself in very big legal trouble.
Oh.
That's my gagged and gooped, because I really was running out of ideas this week.
Yeah, you did run out of a gagged and a goop.
But you have a word, I know, because you were looking for one.
Yes, so my word of the week is admonish. It means to rebuke, to scold.
Do you have a petticoat lane?
Petticoat lane is this. If someone says a deadline is at 11 a.m. on a Thursday, The deadline is at 11 a.m. on a Thursday, not 3 o'clock on a Thursday.
Yes.
There will be consequences, unfortunately.
The deadline is open of business on a Thursday.
Right.
With that, Daniel, shall we hit our deadline today?
We should.
Everything we've covered, everything?
My dear, we've barely even set the agenda.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This has been a Bearded Bitch production recorded in a Diane Keating podcast studio in Haberdashery.
You've been listening to The Bitches with Beards. I've been Daniel.
And I'm Max. A big thanks to you all for tuning in and giving us a listen. Don't forget to rate, subscribe and review the following on Twitter, X and TikTok, where you can find us at Bitches with Beards.
Please remember that only a mother could love our views and opinions, and they reflect us and no one else.
We'll hear you next week unless we're cancelled. Cheers.